Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Kiss my ass. Kiss his ass. Kiss your ass. Happy Hanukkah.
Merry Christmas and welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. The tweet went out. The news has broke. Cedric Tillman is returning for his senior season. We're going to take a look at what he had to say. We're also going to look at some offensive numbers, something I've been meaning to do for weeks and really haven't, break down the numbers from 2020 to 2021 and just how high-powered this offense is. We all know it, but I want to take a look at some numbers. Before we get into that, as always, do me a favor, go ahead and smash that like button just below the video. If you will hit that thumbs up, it helps the channel, helps us grow, helps us reach more Tennessee fans. We would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you are new to the Talkin VAWLS Network, welcome. Go ahead and subscribe. Click that bell for notifications. You won't miss out when we go live or when we drop new content. So let's jump right into the article. This is on Rocky Top Insider, written by Ryan Shumpert. Tennessee star receiver returning for senior season, says Cedric Tillman is returning to Knoxville for his senior season. The 6'3" receiver announced Thursday. Here's the tweet on the screen that you can see from Cedric Tillman that just went up just a little bit ago. And he says, "One more ride, go Big Orange." You can go down here and read, "Since I arrived at Tennessee in 2018, it's been an amazing experience, and Vol Nation is second to none. The 2021 season has been a blast with these boys, and we are fired up about finishing the year in Nashville at the Music City Bowl. We are constantly striving for improvement as a team and in everything we do. While I have made a significant strides in my game this year, I feel like I have much left to prove in the orange and white. Therefore, I will be returning for my 2022 senior season in Knoxville." I love it. I love it. I felt confident about it, especially once Hendon Hooker announced that he was coming back. I thought Cedric Tillman would follow suit. And, you know, what more does this kid have to prove? And going back to a video that the Indy kid made weeks ago, he's proven it against the best of the best. He's proven it in the SEC. He's proven it against the Georgias and the Alabamas. What more does Cedric Tillman have to prove? It's about the power T. It's about putting on that orange and white and playing with his brothers. I love it. I love the commitment to the University of Tennessee and to his teammates. Let's come back. Let's do it one more time. Article here says Tillman's decision comes just under 2 weeks after quarterback Hendon Hooker announced his intentions to return to Knoxville for a super senior season. The pair deciding to return is a massive boost for Josh Heupel and his staff heading into their second season in Knoxville. Goes on to say Hooker rejuvenated a Tennessee offense that had floundered since Josh Dobbs graduated, but Tillman's growth was the surprise of the season. This is where it gets interesting because it's crazy. But we all know the numbers. We've talked about the numbers, but we're still going to go through it just because it is so fascinating that a guy like Cedric Tillman had 8 catches. 8 catches in his career at Tennessee, and then just absolute dominant performance this past season. Says the redshirt junior totaled 124 yards and 2 touchdowns in his first 3 seasons. This season, Tillman was one of the conference best receivers with 57 catches for 931 yards and 9 touchdowns. Goes on to say the Las Vegas native needs 69 yards in the Music City Bowl against Purdue to become one of the first Tennessee receivers to total 1,000 yards in a season since Cordell Patterson met that mark in 2012. Tillman hasn't shied away from the goal either. I love it. I love the confidence. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about our goals, what we want to achieve. Here's the quote from Tillman. He says, "Yes, I did. Coach Burns called me up his office and said there's no reason you can't have 1,000 yards this season. So that definitely was a goal of mine, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm definitely trying to get it." I love it. I love it. Don't talk about a no-hitter. Nah, let's just go ahead and talk about it. Let's just be confident in what we do day in and day out on the practice field, in preparation. Confidence. There's a difference between arrogance and confidence. The article here says the breakout receiver played his best when the opponents were the greatest, totaling 200 yards against Georgia and 152 against Alabama. And that's the thing. And I know I keep going back and harping on Indy Kid's video every time I talk about Tillman, but it's eye-opening. It's eye-opening. 200 yards against Georgia, a defense that everybody was talking about going into that Tennessee game, saying Tennessee had no chance, absolutely no chance to move the football. Tillman goes in and says, "Hold my beer," 200 yards against Georgia. Tacks on 152 against Alabama. Goes on to talk about Tillman's return being massive for Tennessee on offense, both because of his abilities, but also because the receivers the VAWLS lost. And this great point. Great article, great point. Tennessee's two other starters during the 2021 season, VAWLS Jones Jr., Javonte Payton, both out of eligibility. While Tillman left his football future open after the Vanderbilt game, Heupel made a pitch for the star receiver to return. This is the quote from Josh Heupel. I believe his best football is still ahead of him. He's a guy that from the moment we've gotten here, he's just been super consistent in who he is and how he approaches the day, how he works in the weight room. He has to spend as much time as anybody watching extra film on what we've done offensively and what you have to do because of his work habits. He constantly gets better. First 5 days of spring ball, the second 5 days, you can see him get better. You see his confidence grow. In 5 of the 35 days, he took another huge jump in who he was all summer long and how he prepared. So let's take it to the next level. Let's look ahead to 2022. Hendon Hooker, another full year in the system. Cedric Tillman returning, another full year in the system. You're returning both of your running backs. You're returning more than likely 4 out of your 5 offensive linemen. Made a video on Cade Mays earlier this morning. I just don't see it. I think he's going to the NFL. You're returning both of your tight ends. This Tennessee offense is only going to continue to grow. It's going to be interesting to see what they do at wide receiver. It's huge that Cedric Tillman is back. I would think that you're going to look to go into the transfer portal and maybe add somebody else on the other side opposite of him, and then you would hope a guy like Jalen Hyatt steps up in the slot. I don't know that you can count on a guy like Caleb Webb, Squirrel White. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe those guys take huge leaps, but you're talking about kids that are playing high school football and then trying to make that transition into the SEC. Can they contribute as true freshmen? We'll see how that plays out. But I definitely think Tennessee is going to look into the transfer portal to add another wide receiver on the outside. But I talked about that earlier today too. They're going to continue to evaluate and be selective because you got to look at the numbers game. 85 scholarships. We all know how down they were. We all know how down they were this season, but the ability to come back because of an extra year of eligibility due to COVID, plus the guys you've added in the transfer portal, and then bringing in the class of 22, you're going to be easing up on that 85 scholarship limit. So I think this staff is going to be patient. I think they're going to be selective, and I think they are going to add guys to this football team that are only going to help. But the article there that I was reading, made mention of how much Cedric Tillman is going to grow in another season. And that's why I want to look at these numbers. And we've talked about it to death, but it's worth noting the difference between 2020 to 2021. And some people in the comment section, they want to come into these videos and they want to hate on Josh Heupel and talk about how defense wins championships. It's not 1998, guys. It's 2021. High-powered, fast-paced, scoring offense is how you win championships. Look at Nick Saban, his ability to adapt and change the way that he plays the game. But 2020 to 2021, 21.5 points per game under Cornbread, 38.8 under Josh Heupel. You went from 108th to 9th in scoring offense. Total offense, 346.2 to 459 yards per game. Again, 102nd to 16th. Rushing offense, 84th to 20th. Passing efficiency, 64th to 8th. Completion percentage, 41st to 27th. First down offense, 81st to 19th. It just goes on and on and on. Touchdowns. This is embarrassing. This is absolutely embarrassing. Touchdowns in 2020, 29. 29 touchdowns. 2021, 61. Points scored from 77th to 9th. This Josh Heupel offense works. And if you're not excited about 2022, you may want to check your pulse. You may want to check your pulse. Yes, they've got some guys to replace, but you are returning most of this offense, and we just read down the numbers, the improvements 2020 to 2021. This offense is going to score a lot of points. Start it now. Fire it up right now. Hendon Hooker, 2022 Heisman Trophy campaign, and I don't care. You can say whatever you want. You can say if Peyton didn't win it, nobody's ever going to win it. It's not necessarily about winning the trophy as much as it is a campaign to start recruiting your next quarterback. You got Taven Jackson waiting in the wings. You got the kid Nico out of California. Let's continue to build that, and let's continue to bring in wide receivers, quarterbacks, running backs, and let's get Tennessee football back where it belongs. But it starts with Hendon Hooker coming back, now Cedric Tillman. That's going to wrap it up for this video. If you haven't done so yet, please hit that thumbs up on the way out the door. Also, if you are wanting to support the channel, you can go to bonfire.com/store/talkinballs. Pick up all the merchandise. Any and all support greatly appreciated. We got basketball merch, baseball merch, and then your regular logo, football stuff, all that. Any and all support greatly appreciated. Hit that comment section. Tell me what it means to you that Cedric Tillman is coming back. How excited are you about this offense in 2022? But that's going to do it for this one. Hope you guys have a Merry Christmas. More content coming your way this week. This is the Talkin' Vols Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.
The songs how like me, poets sat in our chains, soaking moon.